Chosen one, you are not waiting because God forgot you. You are not confused because you were born without direction. The truth is more confronting than that, but it is also more hopeful. For a long time you assumed the missing piece was another sign, another confirmation, another message strong enough to silence every doubt. There was a moment recently when you opened your phone for an answer. You found words that comforted you. You felt relief for a few minutes. Then, the same uncertainty returned before the day was over. That moment exposed the real problem. The message arrived, but the receiver could not hold it. Not because you are weak, not because your faith is false, not because the gift inside you disappeared. Pressure has been speaking loudly. Fear has been interrupting your judgment. Constant noise has trained your attention to scatter before truth can become action. And now you keep asking for more light while standing inside a room that already has an open door. Tonight, the old explanation must break. You have called this delay divine timing. Sometimes it was. But there were also moments when you already knew the next step, and searching for more answers protected you from the risk of taking it. That is not condemnation, it is freedom, because a pattern can change once you can see it. You do not need to hate yourself for the days you froze. You need to understand what your mind was trying to avoid and why the search for certainty became safer than movement. Before this message ends, 3 things will become clear. You will understand the layers covering your receiver. You will learn how to tell peace from emotional shutdown. You will leave with one practical step that can begin tonight. Tonight. But first, notice what happens inside you when a decision matters. Your body tightens, your thoughts multiply. You remember every possible failure. Then you reach for another message, another opinion, or another hour of research. It feels responsible. It even feels spiritual. Yet nothing changes. This is the first proof that your problem may not be missing information. Your problem may be the moment between knowing and doing. That space has been filled with noise, fear, and the demand for perfect certainty. The more important the decision feels, the louder those forces become. Chosen one, God may not be hiding the next step from you. The hidden thing may be the condition through which you have been trying to receive it. If the receiver is covered, even truth can feel like silence. If the receiver is scattered, even a clear instruction can feel incomplete. So hold one question while we go deeper. What do you already know that you keep asking to be told again? Do not answer quickly. Let the question reach the place where excuses usually begin. You are not being asked to solve your whole life tonight. You are being asked to stop pretending that confusion always means absence. Sometimes confusion is what fear creates when truth gets too close to action. Sometimes another sign is only a beautiful delay. Comment, I am ready to see clearly. Let those words mark your willingness, not your perfection. You do not need to feel fearless. You only need enough honesty to recognize the pattern. The first layer is difficult to see because it looks like devotion. It looks like seeking. It looks like wisdom. But when seeking never becomes obedience, it slowly turns into hiding. And that is where the full truth begins. You have already seen the first clue. The answer may be present while movement remains absent. Now, we must name the gap between those two things. It is the sacred signal gap. It is the distance between receiving an insight and allowing that insight to shape a visible decision. You know this gap well. You hear a message that feels exact. You write down one sentence. You feel understood. Then you open 5 more messages and lose the first truth inside a flood of new ones. Nothing was wrong with the insight. It never had enough space to become action. Most people explain this by saying they need one more sign. They believe the right words will remove every doubt. But certainty rarely arrives that way. More input can create more pressure, because every new voice adds another possibility and another standard you think you must satisfy. Chosen one, You may not need more confirmation. You may need less interference. The sacred signal gap grows when you move too quickly from receiving to consuming again. You never test what you heard. You never place it beside reality. You never ask what one honest step would look like. Spiritual searching can become avoidance. It offers the feeling of movement without the cost of movement. You can feel inspired without risking rejection. You can remain in preparation and call it patience. Think about one decision you have asked about repeatedly. How many answers have you collected? How many have you tested through action? This question is not meant to shame you. It is meant to return your power. Your hesitation does not prove that your guidance was false. It may only prove that you never built a bridge between insight and behavior. The signal reached you, but no structure carried it forward. Here is the structure. One question, one page, one step. Choose one question that matters now. Write everything you know on one page. Then choose one action that can be completed in 15 minutes or less. The action must be visible. Send the email, open the document, schedule the appointment, say the sentence, remove the distraction. You are not proving the entire path. You are gathering evidence from one real step. Place your phone face down. Feel the empty space in your palm. Notice how quickly your mind asks for another voice. Let the noise move back for one moment. Ask yourself, what remains true when nobody tells me anything else? You may feel an answer or resistance. Both are useful. An answer reveals direction. Resistance reveals where fear has been standing. The words "be still" do not mean become passive. They can mean reduce the noise long enough to recognize what is already present. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is the condition that allows movement to become deliberate. This is the first breakthrough. You were not always missing the sign. You were often missing the space required to process it. That changes the meaning of your delay. You were not abandoned. You were overloaded. Comment: the gift is still here. The next layer reaches deeper than information. It reaches back to the mind you had before fear taught you to question every original thought. There was a time when curiosity moved through you without permission. You created before asking whether it was impressive. You learned before measuring yourself against everyone else. What happened to that part of you? And what if it was never gone? Chosen one. There was a time when your mind moved before fear interrupted it. You asked questions without embarrassment. You imagined possibilities without demanding proof first. Discovery felt natural, and judgment had not yet become your constant companion. That younger mind lacked experience, but curiosity moved freely. Imagination and problem-solving worked together. You learned by trying, not by waiting until failure became impossible. Then the rules changed. You were rewarded for being correct. You were compared with others. Unusual questions created discomfort. Little by little, exploration became performance. Creation became evaluation. The mind that once moved with freedom began checking itself before every step. This is the childhood-genius divide. It is not a claim that every child has an extraordinary intelligence score. It describes the distance between natural creative access and the guarded way many adults learn to think. Children often try before judging. Adults often judge before trying. That difference matters. When judgment arrives too early, imagination cannot offer enough possibilities. You may call this a lack of ideas, but many ideas are rejected before you can consciously hear them. Modern life makes the divide wider. Comparison follows you. Notifications break thought into fragments. Exhaustion makes familiar choices feel safer. Soon, you believe the inventive part of you disappeared. But capacity and access are not the same. A gift can remain present while the path to it becomes crowded. A writer can carry language while fearing the blank page. A chosen one can hold vision while distrusting every thought that lacks outside approval. This changes how you read your past. You did not necessarily become less intelligent. You became more guarded. You did not lose every gift. You learned to interrupt it. Maybe you have tried to reverse this. You may have prayed, journaled, meditated, or listened to different kinds of audio. That does not prove you are broken. A method may not fit, a claim may be too large, or your expectations may demand instant change. No tool deserves blind trust. No practice can replace sleep, healthcare, wise counsel, or action. But disappointment does not prove change is impossible. Imagine facing a problem at work. In the old pattern, you freeze and search for the perfect answer. In the restored pattern, you write 3 possible solutions. You choose one small test. You learn from the result. That is creative intelligence, working with practical judgment. The goal is not to become a child again. It is to explore without abandoning adult discernment. You need imagination and structure. You need intuition and evidence. Comment: the gift is still here. The gift may be covered. It may be tired. It may need practice. But it does not need your contempt. Different brain regions contribute different strengths. The important question is not which side should dominate. It is whether the systems required for insight, evaluation, and action can cooperate. Later, we will return to a practical tool built around that idea. Before we do, you need to understand what has been covering your receiver. Even a useful tool becomes meaningless when the condition it claims to address has never been named clearly. So carry this question forward. What if your gift was never taken from you? What if years of pressure only trained you to stop accessing it? The next truth will show you why a powerful mind can begin to feel distant from itself. Chosen one. The next layer is not about your worth. It is about the condition through which your mind has been trying to work. Some days you feel sharp. Other days, even simple thoughts seem far away. You can watch something easy for an hour, but the moment you begin meaningful work, your focus collapses. You may forget a word in the middle of a sentence. You may open a page and stare at it. You may start 3 tasks and finish none. Then the accusation begins. You call yourself lazy. You call yourself undisciplined. You wonder whether the gift inside you has faded. But that conclusion is too simple. Brain fog can have many causes. Stress can shape it. Poor sleep can deepen it. Constant switching can weaken attention. Fear can interrupt working memory. If your symptoms are severe or persistent, seek qualified medical care. Do not turn a health concern into a spiritual verdict. The pattern we are naming is the covered receiver. Your capacity may still exist while access becomes harder. The signal may remain present while the system carrying it is overloaded. This does not mean every struggle has one cause. It means self-hatred is not a useful diagnosis. Think about the way you move through a normal day. A message arrives, a notification interrupts, a worry opens, another thought. An unfinished task follows you into the next one. By evening, your mind has changed direction so many times that stillness feels uncomfortable. Then an important choice appears. Your system is already tired. You expect instant clarity, but clarity often needs space. When that space is missing, fear speaks first, because fear is fast. This can explain why your mind feels inconsistent. You are not brilliant one day and empty the next. You may be working under different levels of pressure, rest, safety, and attention. Capacity and access are not the same thing. That truth can rewrite years of shame. The seasons when you felt slower may not have been proof that you lost your calling. They may have been seasons when your mind carried more than it could process cleanly. The gift was not always absent. The pathway toward it was crowded. So begin with a small reset. Take 3 slow breaths. Name the strongest sensation in your body. Write one sentence that is true right now. Turn off one source of stimulation. Then work on one meaningful task for 8 minutes. Do not demand a miracle from those 8 minutes. Use them as a doorway. Your goal is not perfect focus. Your goal is to show your mind that attention can return without force. Notice what changes when you stop attacking yourself. Your shoulders may soften, your breathing may deepen, a thought that felt hidden may become easier to name. Agency often returns after the accusation leaves. There is a practical reason I asked you to notice the difference between capacity and access. A group led by a neurologist in New York developed a short auditory sequence that its creators say was designed to support greater coordination across the brain. It is not presented as the same thing as generic brainwave tracks that many people have already tried. Later, I will explain what it is, what evidence its creators reference, what it costs, and what its limits are. But first, hold this question. What if your next step does not require more force, but a better condition for reception? The answer begins with the reason you delay the work that matters most. You have named the noise. You have seen the covered receiver. Now the pattern turns toward the moment that has confused you most. Why do you delay the very work you claim to care about? You may clean the room when it is time to send the proposal. You may watch another lesson when you already know enough to begin. You may rewrite the first paragraph 10 times because publishing the full piece would make you visible. This does not always mean you lack discipline. It does not always mean the timing is wrong. And it does not automatically mean God is closing a door. Sometimes resistance becomes strongest because the next action carries real emotional weight. The hidden mechanism is the identity safety reflex. Your mind prefers what it can predict. A new action may threaten the version of you that knows how to survive inside the familiar. Even success can feel dangerous when it changes how others see you. A new career may disturb family expectations. A clear boundary may challenge an old relationship. Sharing your work may expose you to judgment. Finishing the project may remove the protection of saying you are still preparing. So your system creates delay. It offers useful-looking distractions. It asks for more certainty. It makes you tired at the exact moment courage is required. The delay protects belonging, control, and the identity you already know. This does not make you dishonest. It means an old protective pattern is working in a new situation. It may have helped you avoid shame before. Now it is also keeping you from movement. Reconsider the years you called wasted. You were not always refusing your calling. Part of you may have been protecting the life you understood from a future you could not yet predict. That protection deserves understanding, but it no longer deserves complete authority. You do not defeat this reflex with one dramatic promise. You reduce the size of the threat. Enter the work for 8 minutes. Open the document. Write 3 sentences. Send 1 email. Make 1 appointment. Speak 1 honest line. This is the 8-minute entry. You are not asking your mind to complete the entire journey. You are asking it to cross the threshold and remain there long enough to learn that movement is survivable. Choose 1 action now. Make it visible. Make it small. Make it possible before the day ends. Comment. 1 clear step. Let those words become a decision rather than another comforting phrase. But here is the part most messages never explain. You can understand the pattern, forgive your past, and still remain motionless. Why? Because insight does not automatically reorganize the condition from which you think, imagine, and decide. The truth can be present while the system receiving it remains fragmented. That is the final hidden layer. It connects the noise, the fog, the fear, and the delay. In plain language, stress and overload can reduce clarity. Fear can make familiar choices feel safer. Constant input can stop you from processing what you already know. None of this proves that you are abandoned or incapable. What you need is not endless information. You need less interference. You need time to process. You need a small action that gives your mind new evidence. You need the parts of you that notice, evaluate, imagine, and act to begin cooperating. That is who you are becoming. Not a person who never feels doubt, a person who can feel doubt and still choose a grounded next step. The clarity you have received is real, but clarity alone is not movement. The question is whether the parts of you required for movement can begin working together. You have reached the deepest layer. Logic may point in one direction while intuition pulls toward another. This does not mean logic is the enemy of faith. It does not mean emotion must be silenced. Clear movement often requires several human capacities to cooperate. You need awareness to notice what is happening. You need imagination to see another possibility. You need judgment to test it. You need planning and action to carry the decision into life. I call this whole self-agreement. It does not mean every part of you feels fearless. It means the important parts can agree on one responsible next step. This reframes your past. Your inner conflict did not always prove the calling was false. You may have learned to use reason against feeling, or feeling against evidence. Use 3 words when that conflict returns: truth, image, action. Name what is true now. Picture one healthy outcome. Choose one action that respects both reality and hope. Now the earlier question can be answered. Is the problem capacity or access? Is the answer more force or a better condition? Is insight enough, or does insight need integration? Research by Dr. Roger Sperry helped establish that the 2 cerebral hemispheres have specialized functions. His split-brain research contributed to the Nobel Prize in 1981. That work did not prove that any commercial audio can transform a life, and it did not validate the product I am about to describe. The creators used the broader idea of coordination between brain systems as part of their explanation. Their claims should be evaluated as manufacturer claims. This is not medical treatment, and persistent cognitive symptoms should be discussed with a qualified professional. According to company materials, a woman from California had tried prayer, journaling, and meditation while still feeling blocked. She reported feeling clearer after using the audio. Her experience is personal and does not guarantee the same result for others. The company also shares the story of a man from Texas who struggled with fog and difficult decisions. He reported improved clarity after using the sequence. That testimonial came from the seller and is not proof of a universal outcome. The team is led by Dr. Daniel Barone, a neurologist in New York City, according to the product information. They call the audio the Genius Switch. It is a digital targeted auditory sequence designed to be heard through headphones for 8 minutes a day. The manufacturer calls its approach neural sync technology and whole brain activation. The Genius Switch is not presented as a meditation app or a generic brainwave track. The company says it was developed to support greater coordination across the brain. This product is positioned as using a different method, but that distinction still does not guarantee an outcome. Read the full explanation and decide whether the claim seems reasonable to you. The Genius Switch is not for everyone. It may interest the chosen one who wants to evaluate a brief daily tool inside a larger clarity practice. It should never be treated as a command from God, a test of faith, or a replacement for responsible action. According to current product materials, colleagues suggested a value as high as $500. The listed price is $49. The page currently promotes an additional reduction to $39. The offer lists 4 digital bonuses. They include a guided visualization, a smart grocery shopping guide, a classic manifestation book, and a printable 5 habits infographic. Lifetime access is included. The seller advertises a money-back guarantee. Review the exact terms on the official page before deciding. Prices, bonuses, and conditions can change, so confirm what is currently displayed. The company says the $39 price may increase. That is a commercial statement, not a spiritual deadline. Do not act from fear that a blessing will disappear. Evaluate the cost and your circumstances with a clear mind. The The product file states that the official version is distributed through its website. Other tracks using similar names may not be verified as the same product. The link in the description and pinned comment leads to the page with the current offer and terms. If the idea resonates, read everything before deciding. You are free to continue without purchasing. Your worth, calling, and access to God do not depend on this tool. A tool does not replace God, discernment, sleep, medical care, or the choices that still belong to you. An audio cannot set a boundary for you. It cannot finish your work. It cannot surrender for you. At most, it can be evaluated as one support inside a larger practice of clarity. The deeper truth remains unchanged. Your agency was never meant to be handed to a product. Chosen one. Imagine an ordinary morning several months from now. You open your eyes before reaching for your phone. The room is quiet. Your mind is not empty, but it is no longer crowded by every unfinished voice. You sit for a moment and notice what matters most. One priority becomes clear. You do not need the whole week explained. You do not need a perfect sign. You only need enough truth for the next faithful step. In the old pattern, you searched for reassurance before moving. You opened one message, then another. You changed plans before testing the first one. You waited for certainty to remove every risk. In the restored pattern, you write one decision down. You give it a time. You take the first action. Then you learn from what actually happens instead of demanding complete proof before you begin. This is what clarity often looks like. It is quieter than excitement. It does not always feel supernatural. It may simply feel steady, honest, and possible. You are becoming a steward of your attention. You are learning that focus is not punishment. It is protection for what matters. Now picture another scene. You are sitting across from someone you care about. There is a truth you have avoided because you feared conflict. Your body still feels tension, but you do not disappear inside it. You speak one clear sentence. You do not attack. You do not explain for 10 minutes. You do not use silence as punishment. You stay present while the truth lands. That is whole self-agreement in real life. Your feelings are present. Your judgment is present. Your values are present. Your action respects all three. The future you are building is not a life without discomfort. It is a life where discomfort no longer controls every decision. You can feel uncertainty and still remain honest. You can see an opportunity at work and evaluate it carefully. You can hear an idea and test it without turning it into a fantasy. This is how the receiver becomes uncovered. Not through one dramatic moment, but through repeated acts of attention, truth, and movement. For the person who felt genuine interest when the auditory tool was described, the official information remains in the description and pinned comment. Review the current price, the guarantee, and the full terms before deciding. Make that decision from clarity, not urgency. The door can be considered without fear. Your value does not rise if you buy it, and it does not fall if you do not. Comment, I choose clarity over noise. Let those words remind you that attention is something you can guide. One final truth still needs to be closed. The title says, God cannot keep this hidden any longer. That does not mean God lost the power to keep a secret. It means you have reached the point where you can no longer hide from what you already know. The pattern has become visible. The next step is asking for your participation. Before the closing prayer, you will practice uncovering the receiver for yourself. You will not chase another sign. You will create the condition in which one honest answer can finally be heard. Chosen one, become still for a moment. Do not do this while driving. Sit in a stable position. Let your shoulders lower. Place one hand over your chest or abdomen, if that feels comfortable. Take one slow breath in. Let it leave without force. Take another breath. Notice where your body carries the most pressure today. Do not judge the sensation. Name it quietly. Tightness, heat, weight, restlessness. Now imagine an old radio in front of you. The radio is not broken. The signal has not disappeared. Dust covers the surface, and the controls are difficult to see. You do not strike the radio. You do not condemn it. You clean it with patience. First, wipe away the noise of other people deciding who you should become. Let those voices move farther back. Now clear the dust of self-blame. Release the sentence that says you should have solved everything by now. You were learning through conditions you did not yet understand. Clear the fear of being wrong. You do not need a guarantee for every step. You need enough honesty to make one grounded choice. Now clear the need for universal approval. Some people may not understand the direction that protects your peace. Their confusion does not make your decision false. Look again at the radio. The controls are visible. The signal was never created by the cleaning. The cleaning only made reception easier. Say this inside. I do not need every answer. I need enough truth for one faithful step. Say this next. My confusion is information, not identity. My fear can speak, but it cannot decide. Notice what happens in your body. You may feel relief. You may feel resistance. You may feel nothing dramatic. Every response is allowed. Bring your thumb and index finger together. Choose one word. Clear, steady, present. Let one word remain. Connect that word to one action you can complete within the next day. Do not choose a life-changing promise. Choose a real step your body can recognize. See yourself beginning that action. Do not picture a perfect result. Feel your hand move. Hear the first sentence. Watch the task become real. Take one more breath. Keep your chosen word close. This anchor is not magic. It reminds you to return before fear takes control. Do not leave with only a beautiful feeling. Name the step now. Make it specific. Give it a place in your day. Truth becomes useful when it enters behavior. Insight becomes trustworthy when it meets reality. The receiver becomes clearer when attention, judgment, and action work together. You do not need to force the whole future open. You only need to stop abandoning the next honest step. Stay here for one breath. The closing truth is ready. What was hidden was never your lack of worth. It was the pattern covering your access to what was already alive within you. Chosen one. The final truth is simple. God did not lose the ability to keep something hidden. The title describes the moment when you can no longer ignore the pattern that has been shaping your delay. What was hidden was not your worth. It was the condition through which you were trying to receive, evaluate, and act. You do not need endless information. You need less interference. You need time to process what is true. You need thought, intuition, and action to begin cooperating. A tool may support clarity. It cannot own your judgment. It cannot replace sleep, medical care, prayer, wise counsel. Your next step still belongs to you. Let us close in prayer. God, bring peace to the person listening now. Quiet the fear that makes every decision feel dangerous. Give them wisdom to separate guidance from panic, and patience to test what they believe through grounded action. Do not let spirituality become a hiding place from responsibility. Do not let logic become a weapon against what is honest and alive within them. Give them courage for one small step. Help them speak truth without cruelty. Help them seek professional support when their body or mind needs care. Let every decision, including any decision about a product, come from clarity rather than pressure. Remind them that no purchase can earn love, calling, or divine attention. Chosen one, repeat these words within yourself. I am not abandoned. I am not the noise surrounding me. I am capable of one clear step. I can listen without surrendering my judgment. I can feel fear without obeying it. I can use tools without giving them authority over my life. I am learning to bring thought, intuition, and action into agreement. The gift is not gone. The receiver is being uncovered. I choose clarity. Carry that declaration into the next day. Measure it by the action you take when the moment becomes ordinary again. Comment, the receiver is clear. Let that sentence become your closing commitment. Share this message with the person who keeps saying that they know what to do, but cannot understand why they never begin. The full truth did not arrive to make you dependent on another message. It arrived to return you to the part of yourself that can hear, test, choose, and move. The secret was never that you were unworthy. The secret was that the gift remained alive beneath the noise. You are not required to know the whole road tonight. You are only asked to honor the next clear step. Walk with peace. Walk with your agency intact.